Welcome to TriVision Global and the Entrepreneur's Pit Stop. Appreciate you taking a moment to stop by the website and the coaching page that you're on right now. I'm here in Shanghai, China, taking a break over the weekend, and thought maybe this might be a good time to connect with you on video. Obviously, you're here taking a look at what we're sharing in regards to coaching, and so I thought I'd record a little personal video to both welcome you and give you a little bit of perspective on what I do for coaching and how it's different from a lot of the different coaching practices and approaches that are out there. I've been a coach since 1992, before coaching even began the way we know it today. And my coaching has evolved over time based on my experience and seeing the different practices that are out there and approaches that they take. And one of the things that I've discovered is that while they have been effective, the different modules or methods in which coaching is done, and that while they have helped people, one of the things that I notice is that they miss one of the primary components of life, and they neglect its full scope and impact on life. So if you're here today taking a look at what I do for coaching and trying to evaluate whether or not it would work for you, let me share with you a little bit of the approach that I take. People in general want to be successful and happy in life. They're not content with where they are and the results they have, and they're looking for the answers that might help them enjoy the lifestyle that we wish they could have, or the type of life which they could have. And so they go about seeking the way our traditional society has shared with us how to be successful, whether that's the personal improvement industry or whether that's the success industry, whether it means going to school and getting a new degree. There's a lot of different approaches we've been taught on how to make life work well. And I used to be in the personal improvement industry. I was a promoter for one of the biggest names in the industry, Jim Rohn. Used to travel with him and teach his philosophy and his approach, and he contributed some tremendous insights and lessons into my own life as I traveled with him. But one day I asked him a question, and he basically told me, "Roger, this is where I get all my material." And he signed my Bible. I had my Bible in hand, and he signed it. And while Jim Rohn had some tremendously valuable insights, and he focused predominantly on the success aspect of life, where I was in my life at the time, I was interested in success, getting financial results, and it led to some tremendous frustration, some poor decisions, and some very hard life circumstances that resulted in those decisions. And so it kind of set me on a new path and a new approach for helping both my own life as well as helping others. And that approach embraces the spiritual side. Now let me clarify what I mean by the spiritual side. We have made some really poor decisions in the natural world, if you will, and some it's based on the fact that our understanding of life has been clouded. We've operated on half-truths or impartial truth because we have been afraid to embrace the full truth. And some of that is because the way the full truth was presented to us, it wasn't done in a very effective manner, and as a result it turned people off to the spiritual side of life. And when you look at history and the wars, and it seems that most of the time the spiritual has been rather, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to go undercover here. It's raining a little harder than I anticipated. the spiritual approach has been taught in a rather aggressive or violent way. If you don't accept my beliefs or my approach, no, I'm just going to kill you, right? That doesn't work too well for long-term benefits, if you will. Jesus said it really wonderfully. He talked about love and the importance of love, and his was a gospel of love. It was a story of love where he recognized our faults, our errors, our shortcomings, and in life there's always you get what you sow, right? You reap what you sow. For every action there's an opposite and equal reaction, and that approach causes us to develop some psychological positions that are detrimental to life. And so Jesus basically came along and said, listen, I know you've made mistakes, and traditionally with these mistakes you reap some significant consequences, death, as he said. And so I'm going to go ahead and take the penalty for your wrong thinking. I'm going to go ahead and make the sacrifice myself because I love you and I want to restore peace and harmony and a relationship with God in your life. And so I'm going to do this for you, and all you have to do is accept it, allow me to do it, and then walk in the way that I show you so that you can experience the peace and the joy that you want in your life. So that's the position I take. I take a spiritual position that's based in I don't even like to call it Christianity, because even Christianity has had a lot of detrimental ways in which they promoted that message. So I try to look at life from that spiritual context. And the reason I do is that because of our clouded understanding of life and the way things work, we've made some really poor decisions that have caused us to have internal wounds and issues. And those internal wounds and issues then cause us to make decisions and take actions that we think will result in better approach, and they don't. So we can tell in our world, we can see things are getting worse and worse, and that's because we've abandoned the spiritual principles that make life work well. We have misunderstood them. We have failed to embrace them because we have been deceived into thinking they don't work, that they're archaic and old, and that they don't produce life. But that's just the opposite. It's actually a lie that we have bought into as a society and as a group of people that is resulting in a life that's becoming difficult and harder. And so that's one of the reasons why I take the spiritual approach. What I have found is that when we approach life from a balanced spiritual perspective, and we're willing to be open to receive the instructions that make life work well, and that we choose to follow those ways, that's where we find the peace and the joy and the contentment that we've longed for. And so that's the approach that I take. And what I have found is that these internal wounds, these misconceptions, these ways of getting our needs met have been incorrect, and as a result of not meeting them the right way, we experience tremendous pain, frustration, irritation, anger, that our life isn't working out. And because we're making those wrong decisions, what happens is that we can't see the right way to do things, and we continue to take the wrong steps, which leads to life becoming more difficult. So I've found that if we can first clarify why we're here, what our real purpose is, what our gifts and talents are, and that we pursue the things that we're supposed to pursue, the things we have been created to do, with the right motives and the right intent and the right approach, that then we begin to start experiencing the peace and the joy and the contentment that we long for. Fear goes away, worry goes away, We begin to become clear on what it is that we need to do. We don't get frustrated when the results don't happen at the pace that we think they should happen. And we start making better decisions and better choices that lead to a more peaceful, relaxing, enjoyable life. So that's sort of the perspective that I take. That's the foundation I start with, is the spiritual. Once the person is clear on why they're here, what their real calling is, what their gifts and talents are, then they have the ability to filter out which opportunities they should pursue and which ones they shouldn't. They develop a real, not only skill set, but a real framework with which they can sort through all the opportunities and choices they have in life and start selecting the ones that are going to be really what they're supposed to be doing. I find that a lot of people waste a lot of time and a lot of talent on things that they're not supposed to do. As a result, that's why they're experiencing unhappiness, sadness, trauma, pain, suffering. And that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I pursue the spiritual first. But once we have a clear idea of the spiritual element, then we can start looking at the natural business ways or revenue generating ways to produce the financial results in life. So I guess if you want to say, I look at life holistically. We look at the spiritual first, which involves the personal part, the mental, the emotional, the physical, the financial. When you look at the financial side of life, there are a variety of ways to generate financial results. There's working more effectively at your job so you begin to receive promotions. There's building revenue on the side through a business of your own, which I highly promote. I think it's very important. If you look at the trees around the area that I'm standing in, each one of them has not only a taproot, but has other roots that go out. And that's a wise approach, because if something happens to the taproot, some of these trees only have a taproot and smaller subsequent supporting roots, and if the taproot is cut, the tree dies. However, these bushes and shrubberies have multiple roots, like bamboo, so if you cut the main taproot, it keeps growing. And it's the same way in life. If you just have a job and that taproot gets cut, life becomes very difficult. But if you develop a strategy of having a variety of income sources, you're no longer worried if one of them dries up or doesn't seem to work anymore. You develop the method to bring in revenue through other sources. So we do talk about and help develop multiple sources of revenue. I don't call them streams, because streams trickle. No, I want fully abundant, effective sources of revenue coming in for you. We talk about health. We talk about family and all the other priorities, marriage. When it comes to business, I focus on helping people from the standpoint of marketing, as well as internet marketing, and developing the systems in place that you need so that you have an effective business. So that's just a little bit about how we approach coaching. Now let me talk a little bit briefly here. I know it's been a little bit long, but let me talk briefly here on how I do coaching. Normally I charge $2,000 per month. I know it's a lot, but I'm working on the whole aspect of your life, and there's a lot that goes into this. But the reason why I charge $2,000 a month is I want you to take action. If things are free, I have found people don't take action. They don't take it with the full focus and intensity that they should. Think about college, right? If you didn't pay for your college, you probably spent a lot of time out there partying and hanging out with your friends, unless you were one of the rare individuals that took it seriously. And even though someone else was paying it for you, you focused. But for the most part, people don't take things seriously if things are free. I have found in my own life that if someone extended me a course for free, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't get to it when I was supposed to. I dragged my feet on it. But when things that I had to pay for, like when I first started learning internet marketing, I spent $3,500 for a weekend to learn from Matt Bazak, and I took notes. I brought my recorder. I really extrapolated as much as I could from that course, and as a result, I generated more than $150,000 that first year. So it obviously paid off. And so that's why I charge what I do for coaching. I want to make sure that you implement what I share with you. If it's free, you won't take it seriously. Now, what does that include? That includes unlimited email and phone support if you need it. It includes me looking at your business and evaluating what you're doing, whether or not it's effective or not, and recommending strategies and tactics that work in today's marketplace. It includes a full set of evaluations that we take. There's a personality disc profile assessment that we take. There's a spiritual assessment profile that we take. So there's several of those processes that we use to evaluate where you are and where you need to go. It also involves me working on your business. I actually do some of the work so that you don't have to be bogged down with just more activities. What you'll find though is that you'll actually have less to do when we take this approach because we work on doing those aspects of the business for you. Now, like I said, normally it's $2,000 a month. I do have an option where I work with people and it's predominantly more of a consulting approach. And if that seems to resonate more with you, where you actually do the work as opposed to me doing the work, I make that available for $700 a month. Now with that package, you will see on the page below, just look down there or over there, one of the two. With $700 a month, you get 2 to 3 emails per week, 1 phone call a week in order to us to connect and evaluate what's going on, what your hang-ups, what are your obstacles, what are the blockages that you're experiencing, and then developing some tactics and strategies to help you overcome those obstacles. But you still get the assessments. The only thing that doesn't happen is I won't work personally on your business for you. I won't help set up some of the different strategies to pull in revenue. I'll guide you, recommend certain people or tools that you'll need to have more effectiveness in the results that you're trying to strive for with your business. And the work will be left up to you. Now, I also have one other coaching program that I make available. It's a subscription-based coaching program. That one runs for $360. It's a membership module. You read the books that I make available. You have my Strategic Freedom package that includes a goal-setting workshop. It's not just goals, actually it's more powerful than goals. It's actually a real strategy approach to making your life and business work. It was derived from both my own life experience as well as from one of the most elite helicopter teams in the world. They have an approach that enables them to drop off their secret warrior clients within plus or minus 30 seconds of their planned time. So I use that approach in helping you to grow your business and your life. It includes a time management workbook. It's kind of a unique way of looking at time by Tor up out of Iceland. He's got a unique way of looking at time that helps you literally earn back 9 weeks of time over the course of a year. And it's a very powerful approach. There's also an opportunity filter and a strategic workshop that I use so you can use it to strategize your own business and your own life. That's a monthly membership program, and again, it's all done on your own. Do it yourself. You just follow the directions, watch the videos, and if that seems to be more along the lines that will resonate with you, then that one's only $360 for the course of a year. So there's a little bit about my coaching programs. I'm sorry if this took a little bit long. I just wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to get to know who I am a little bit and see a personal video from me. Again, if you feel like this is the best approach for you, then I encourage you to go ahead, take a step of faith and sign up for one of the 3 coaching options. If this is not for you, hey, I understand this isn't for everybody, and it certainly wasn't for me when I first got started, but I can tell you from personal experience that my own personal life and the results that I wanted really started to come when I aligned with people that understood what life was really about. when they started sharing their tips and their ideas to help me grow. I grew most when I had a coach. Like I said, there's a lot of different coaching styles and methods that are out there, but I learned from my own experience and study of life that there really is only a few real effective ways into fulfilling your own purpose and destiny to where you feel at peace. The joy comes back and the fear goes away, and you finally feel like you're on task and on target for life. So that's what I want to do for you. I want to help you fulfill your purpose, your plan, your dream that's in your heart, to help you cultivate the skills and the thought processes and the beliefs that will make that become a reality for you, so that you can start really enjoying life the way it was meant to enjoy. So I look forward to seeing you on the inside. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to email me. I'll be happy to get back to you and answer any questions that you have. I'm here for you. So I hope that this helped give you a little bit of the confidence that you need to make a decision in the right direction for your life. So until we meet again in person, remember to always fly right and onward and upward. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.